What's up, guys? This is Alexander King, and I guess that today it's a little bit of a throwback for those of you that are familiar with the channel and with the concept of made Mondays. Today we are going to listen to From Now On. Now, this is probably the first song that you guys requested me to react to ever since I came back with the channel. You guys told me it's a new instrumental from Band-Maid, which has me extremely excited because Band-Maid and instrumentals are two things that work very well together in my book, at least so far. So I'm gonna keep this short. Let's just get straight to it. The only thing I want to say, guys, my first single, Amsterdam, it's will be released on April the 13th, and it's now available for pre-save on Spotify. So if you guys are curious, if you want to show some love, just click the link in the description below, and you can already pre-save it on Spotify so that when it's out, you can listen to it directly. So guys, without further ado, Band-Maid, and this is From Now On. Let's go. It reminds me of the Dies Irae progression, this incline. Moody. Jesus. Oh yeah. There is almost a symphonic element to this. Arcane is just something else, look at like the drums. Nice. They opened it up and Arcane on the drums went mid-tempo. And now picking it up again. Fantastic. Dynamics, guys. Dynamics. I will always say that. Oh. Right. Dynamics again. I'll explain more in the analysis, guys, but Jesus Christ, the drums. The chromatic lick, nice. Nice, the strings in the background. Beautiful bass solo. Again. Listen to that bass though, guys. Wow. Ah, no, it's already over. Oh, wow. Guys, this was fantastic. Honestly, this was beautiful. Extremely moody. Now, I remember that they used to, work also with some heavier melodies and some heavier tones and stuff like that. But the mood of this one, especially like right away from the intro, as I said, it reminded me of the Dies Irae. So, you know, it's a very, you know, impending doom type of melody, which I absolutely love. But the thing that impressed me the most is the dynamics, as I mentioned many times on this channel, as mentioned many times even during just this reaction. For me, it's very important. Like, if you think about music, music should be a journey. So if you have the same type of volume and the same type of tempo and the same type of melody that goes on throughout the whole song, don't get me wrong, it can work on some specific genres and some specific styles of music, but that's the whole point of those. It's like punk rock, for example. If you go and take the Ramones, that was the point. It's like you strip everything down, you make it simple and just as a form of expression, just very, you know, kind of easy to make, but to bring down the difficulty and the how do you say that, like the entry barrier, it's lower when it comes to being a musician, so you can just go and express yourself and shout about the system and whatever it is. So it's two very different things. For something like this, it comes and goes in waves. We can start talking about, for example, the arrangements and the levels and the volumes. So you hear the guitars that at times are very loud, they're very full sounding. There is the rhythmic guitar pad to the right and to the left, plus the lead guitar, and then at certain stages it just goes down or it stops completely. For example, to let the bass come through for the bass solo, that went so well with the violin. At least I think it was a violin or a viola, but a string section. And one thing that I always say also, guys, it's the frequencies. So you have the bass that covers the lower frequencies, and then you have the strings on the higher frequencies. So even if the guitars were not there during the section, the bass solo, it was still very interesting to listen to, because there was something going on both in the lower part of the mix and in the upper part of the frequencies. So beautifully done. And the second thing, of course, was the tempo. As I pointed out during the reaction, when I'm going to call it the chorus, even though of course it's not a traditional song and there is no actual singing in it, it just opens up, and one of the most effective way that you have as a drummer to do that, just to signal the beginning of a new part of the song, is just to go half or double the tempo and the rhythm. And you determine that by the snare. So if you listen, for example, to the kick drums, it is staying very consistent throughout the whole thing, so it doesn't change the tempo, but the snare just, you count the one on the snare, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So what she did was just skip a bit of the snare, and we call that half tempo, of course. So it's almost like you slow down the whole vibe of the song, and you can feel that because it just creates this, like you're moving along, and then there is just this longer wait until the snare hits again, and it works so beautifully, especially with the very nice melodies that they put on top. I do want to mention, of course, the guitar work. Very, very interesting to hear explore more, you know, when there is no lead vocals, there is more time and space for the guitars and lead guitar to do whatever basically they want, because they have to dictate the melody of the instrumental. That's also why I really love instrumental music, because usually you see a guitar player really going for it because they have to come up with a melody, not just with a 15 seconds solo or a riff that's just repeating all the time. They need to make it memorable, and it's their job. So that's what I really love about, one of the things that I really love about instrumental rock music. She did a fantastic job. I really love that chromatic lick that she did going up. I'm a sucker for chromatic licks. I also mentioned that in the in the last Metallica reaction. But in general, like, I think maybe it's just being a fan of the grunge era and Alice in Chains and stuff like that. It just burned into my brain by this stage. I listened to those progressions so many times that every time that I hear something that goes like that, and it's something that I do a lot as well in my own music, or when I play or when I cover stuff, it's just, I really love the chromatic ascending licks, and she did fantastic use of that. Big shout out though, honestly, to me the most important thing in this piece was the the rhythmic section. Phenomenal. Drums and bass working so well together. Virtuosism, it almost felt at times like a drum solo in which they just added some beautiful melodies on top. She's unstoppable, honestly, when she gets behind the drum kit. It's so beautiful to see. So yeah, guys, extremely pleased, to be honest. This is I really enjoyed the other one that we did recently from Band-Maid, the ballad, the very last song. But I really love to see them just unleashing like this. It's just something else. There is just something about it. It's beautiful to see, honestly. So guys, thanks for tuning in. You can always find me, as I always say, blah blah blah, all that stuff, social media, aka Alexander King. The links are in the description below. As I mentioned, there is my new first single coming up on the 13th of April that is already available for pre-save on Spotify, so you can just click the link below. So thanks again for tuning in if you made it this far, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.